Well, for those of you who've watched this channel for a while, you'll know I love my filters. Excuse me squinting, it's really strong sunshine. After the rain that we had and the hailstones and the thunder and the lightning comes the sunshine. Yes, I am a Lee filter girl. I do like my Lee filters. I have tried others. I have some Hitech filters in my bag that I'm not overly impressed with simply because of the colour cast. I have a few Reverse Grads. I think it might be a 0.6 soft grad, and they do leave a colour cast. Even when I'm setting, excuse me, I've got a hair in my mouth now, even when I set the Kelvins to 10,000. In a lot of cases, the colour cast isn't an issue because a lot of long exposures go into mono. But every now and then, I will see a stunning sunset or a sunrise and I need to leave it colour because that's what it's all about. It's about the sunrise and sunset colour. And I've been toying with the idea of investing in a Lee Reverse Grad because I do use them quite a lot. But I haven't picked up the necessary nerve to bash the credit card again. I've got other things such as Maddie's insurance to pay for. K&F contacted me and said, would I like to try one of these? Go on then, we'll have a go. This is their Reverse Grad. Now, I can't lie to you, I have opened it. It arrived at work and I thought, hell's this? It was very neatly wrapped in black plastic. So I ripped it open and thought, that's what this is. So yes, a very posh box, very upmarket. First impressions count. That's a really good first impression. And when you open it up, let's stick that there, you come across a rather nice, I'm not sure it's leather, I'll be tempted to say leatherette pouch. And this is all foam lined so that it doesn't bounce around when it's getting mailed out. And this is very upmarket. K&F Concepts embossed on the front and the rear. It could be leather. It could be. And it has a little magnetic flap so that doesn't flap around. Little things. As with the Lees, it comes in tissue paper which lasts, with the best intentions, you think, oh, I'll use that every time. Lasts about 2 uses and then it gets put into the bottom of the bag. And it's glass, which kind of worries me. This is a 0.9. I don't use 0.9s as a rule. My go-tos are 0.6s. I think I might have a 0.3 somewhere, but I tend to use the 0.6. And I use them in all sorts of combinations. I use them with a 10 stop. I use them with a normal grad the wrong way up. That's worrying. Only because I have a tendency to drop glass filters. And they're not cheap. These are actually fairly reasonably priced. Yeah, it's a very strong filter, that. And the rain's just started. It's been glorious sunshine for the past hour. And now the rain's starting. So yes, I'm going to look forward to using this. I'm hoping there is no colour cast. I'm going to do a comparison shot of a boat that's just out here, a lone boat. We're on Meals Beach. I say I'm up here for the weekend. I shall set the camera up so that I have exactly the same setup for this reverse filter, so the K&F, and my usual Hitech. Now, it's not the cheap Hitech, and it's not the really expensive one. It's not the Firecrest. It's the old top of the range one. And I think they bought the Firecrest out probably because they got fed up with people saying, your filters leave a colour cast. Price-wise, I'll write it up here or up here somewhere because I can't remember off the top of my head how much they cost. But I do know they're not anywhere near as expensive as Hitech. Certainly not as expensive as Lee. Whether they're any good remains to be seen. If that does what I want it to do, I take a photo without colour cast, that will be my go-to until I drop it, obviously. It's filters are a rock and a hard place. I have polyester filters and I scratch them. Glass filters, I drop. So it's a rock and a hard place, but I'm fingers crossed, I keep my fingers crossed that that actually does the trick. As I say, I'll do comparison shots, exactly the same settings, no difference whatsoever, other than one is the K&F Concept Reverse Grad, which is a 0.9. The other one will be a 0.6, so the exposure time is going to have to be slightly different. But certainly, first impression, looks a nice piece of kit. It certainly ticks all the boxes for this is class, this is quality. We shall see. Well, I thought we'd start off down on the far end of my old beach. I haven't dared venture any further out than this because it looks really thick and goopy out there. And there are several signs saying quicksand, which we don't want. So I've set up with the 70 to 200. There is a solitary boat out there. There's a little bit of breeze, so I'm hoping that the mic isn't getting interrupted with it too much. There's some semi-decent cloud, but I'm going for long exposure and I'm going to try this rather swish Reverse Grad. Now the scary thing about this is it's glass. I'm not very good with glass filters. I'm going to put it in the second slot of the Lee filter holder. Oh, that fits really well. I was a little bit concerned that it wouldn't fit. So let's just pop that in there. Now I was interested in this, as I say, because the two or three reverse grads I've got give a colour cast. Quite a nasty colour cast. It's really irritating. They're both Hitech. They're not the very posh Hitech ones. They're probably the first generation. So let's just see if we've got that somewhere right. It's a really awkward position to get into this. And it's quite a strong reverse grad, this one. Stronger than I expected. I think that'll do. Now I know this isn't about the image per se, which is probably just as well because there's a really slow moving tanker just going behind that boat. But I do want a little bit of a long exposure, so I'm going to pop the 10 stop in as well. It's very, very bright, very bright. As I say, it is the middle of the day. I'm going to do, as I always do, amend the white balance to 10,000 kelvins. I've already focused on the boat here. Put it on mirror up. I'm going to need longer. I think we're probably going to go for about 20 seconds. That might be a little bit too much, but we'll give it a go as a starting point. And once I've taken this image, I'm going to take the same image with the Hitech filter and just see what the difference is. See if I'm getting any colour cast with this at all. 20 seconds can take an age, you know. Oh, it's so bright, it is impossible to see a thing. I don't think the exposure is quite long enough. The foreground is very, very bright. I could almost do with the reverse gradient upside down to lower the brightness of the foreground where I'm getting the reflection of the boat. I might have to put just a normal filter on there to bring that down a bit. Crikey, you don't realise how slowly those oil tankers move. That's ridiculously slow. Right, well I'm still not getting any blinkies, so I'll take it that that's actually okay. It's so obscenely bright I cannot see a thing, although I can see some gorgeous light on the yacht. And the lovely red blur behind it, which is the oil tanker moving out. But as I say, I'm still not getting any blinkies. I am just going to... Where are we? I don't want a hard grad, I want a soft grad. This is when sometimes it pays to fiddle around. Right, I'm going to put a soft grad in upside down. Oh, excuse me. That's going to be about right. That will just bring the bottom half of the exposure slightly darker. Well, by the miracle of time travel, I'm home again. Now, the purpose of taking the images that I did was not for me to get an amazing image. It was a trial to see if this K&F Concept 0.9 a Reverse Grad was going to give a colour cast or not. And I don't believe it did. I couldn't see a thing on the back of the screen. So coming home and getting the photos edited was the only thing that I could do. And when I say edited, all I have done is cropped and cloned out some raindrops that were landing on the front of the filter. The 0.6 that I put on the Hitech filter, there is a definite pinkish, purplish haze across the sky. There's nothing on this one. This image is slightly darker. I didn't leave it for quite long enough on the exposure time, but I would have expected the colour cast, if there was going to be one, to show up even worse at that point, and it didn't, so I was quite happy with it. As I say, the only drawback for me is it's glass, and I do have a tendency to drop my glass filters, but I shall endeavour not to. So that's going to stay in the bag, and I will give an update on it each time I use it, so it will be part of another vlog, because I do tend to use the Reverse Grads quite a lot, particularly with seascapes, which, as you know, I'm doing quite a lot of at the moment. Yeah, they are, I think I mentioned earlier, about 74 quid, which is considerably cheaper than the Lee and the Hitech. It's well presented, it looks classy. I can't see a downside to it really. They don't, unfortunately, at the moment seem to do a 0.6 Reverse Grad. So my feedback to the company is, yes, the filter does exactly what it needs to do without giving a colour cast, but you really need to do a 0.6. Don't understand why they've gone for a 0.9. It's quite a heavy grad filter. And I say 0.6s for me are my go-tos, and they're generally more than sufficient. Can work around it by putting a normal grad upside down in the lower half of the image, just to even the exposure out slightly. But yeah, I'm impressed with that. So yes, if you are looking for a Reverse Grad and you don't mind a little bit of faffing putting another filter in, or you can do it in post, just raise the exposure slightly on the top half of the image, I'd say that's got to be worth the deal. Definitely. And that's it. Short and sweet, and I'll update on it as I go through the year, provided I don't manage to break it. Cheers for now.